At what age did you realize you were different? That you were not like everyone else? At what age did you realize that you were empirically unique? I'm not talking about embracing who you are, but I'm talking about realize that out of 100 people, you're the one person that's a little bit different in the things that you do, the things that you're interested in, the things that you gravitate to. And I'm not talking about sexuality in any way, so don't go there with that. A lot of the modern gay movement, and I'll mention this once and once only, views things through a single lens. Everything has to be damn purple. And I'm wearing a purple shirt today. Everything's got to be purple. In other words, when you're a hammer, everything's a nail. I'm not talking about that. That's just over-sexualization of our American culture and world culture. And I want to minimize that in my talks. So I never want to go there, and I discourage that kind of dialogue and back and forth stuff in these videos. So let me make that straight. I'm talking about being different in life. I knew I was different when my brothers were playing catch ball with my dad in the backyard, and my dad would use increasingly faster pitches to my brothers, who would catch them. With me, he would throw underhand, get a little bit closer. He would try to aim it towards my glove, and the ball would still hit me in the middle of the forehead. That's the first sign that you're a little bit different. No matter how hard you try, the ball still hits you in the middle of the forehead. Gives you a bloody nose. And that kind of like reinforces the thought that maybe I'm not cut out for sports. When you're a kid and all the neighborhood kids are lined up and they're picking teams and you're always the last one. When you're an adult and everyone's in front of the TV watching a sports game, you have zero interest in it. You have zero knowledge of what's going on. And then you say, hey, does anyone want wings? More wings, more beer? And then you end up becoming like the halftime entertainment person. I knew I was different right from the start, and that's okay. For the longest time, it hurt me. And when you try to be like other people, God, it takes a lot of energy to try to be like the crowd, doesn't it? God, so many people spend so much energy trying to be like others. Be yourself. Be your own man or woman. There's no downside to that. If you want to dress any way you want, you dress any way you want. You want to listen to whatever music you want, listen to whatever music you want. If you like some weird drink, have it. That's quite all right. If you like a certain kind of cigar or tobacco, go for it. Do it. Be yourself. Write. Create characters. If you ever created a character when you were by yourself and you were a kid and you were a giant and like the ants were people, and you know, I would suggest that you were the kind of creative person. You didn't need a TV on. You didn't need a radio on. You didn't need to be entertained, because if you're as old as me, there was no video games. You created your own friends in your room. And you set up little men, army men, and G.I. Joes, and stick figures, and you did things. That's normal for the creative person. They don't need external stimulation. I would contest that the Army of Average has all the friends they need inside here, and that you march to the beat of a different drummer. That's what I think. So in your differentness, produce a product. Follow through. Do not conform. Do not conform. In your differentness that you've confirmed, that you no longer feel bad about, because you did for a while, didn't you? When you didn't fit in, you felt bad. Sitting on the bench, while I played football in high school, sitting on the bench just made me realize sports is not for me. No matter how hard I tried, I worked out like crazy. I ran, just didn't have the coordination. So nowadays, they put everybody out in the game, eventually, just so people don't feel bad. My Lord, you would have thought with as much bench warming that I did that I would have just disappeared from this earth a long time ago if I based my self-esteem upon how much time I spend on the bench. Are you on the bench in your life, generally speaking? I would ask that you embrace the bench time, which means that you're different. Are you on hold right now in your life because you're a little bit different? Are you antisocial, or I should say asocial, not anti. Anti means you actively don't seek groups, and you hate groups, and you act out against them. I'm talking about being asocial, which just means you prefer not to be in crowds. I like being in crowds if there's music playing or if there's a purpose. Other than that, I like it quiet. I don't need noise all the time. If I want action, I go to where the action is. I don't like living amongst the action. How different are you? Embrace that. Do you have a business idea that's different? Try it. Float it. If it doesn't, it's like making kites. For a while I was into kites, and I love kites. And one of the things that kite making does for you, think about this now. One of the things, and I'll share many of my hobbies and interests that I've had over the years and lessons that I've learned from it. One of the things that kite making does for you is you realize quickly you might have a bright idea, but when you get out in the field and the wind is blowing, will that thing take off? Will the kite fly in the wind? You find out quickly that literally 75% of your ideas, although in your mind and on paper, you think they're going to fly, they don't. They flop. They're not a success. And the only way you find out what flies is what? If you keep trying, keep making kites. You'll eventually learn how the wind catches the kite and where it needs to be suspended. Go fly a kite. I'm dead serious, guys. Go to the toy store, go to a department store and buy a kite. They're less than $5. Buy a kite. The simplest, stupid kite you can find. Then, make a kite out of a plastic trash bag or paper, using wood or fiberglass or plastic rods. Put a tail on it. You're going to find that kites with tails fly better. The first couple kites you try to fly without tails, you're going to see something happens. It's not operating properly. You're going to discover things that you can control and things that you can't control. You're going to see ways of holding the string, pulling the string, running with. Long story short, buy a kite, fly it. Then try to make a kite and fly it. It won't be so easy. You're going to need to make many modifications to get the thing to catch air and actually get off the ground. It's the same thing with many things in life. You need to incorporate testing, modifying, and tweaking. If something doesn't fly, that's not your time to quit. It's your time to bear down, tweak, modify, try something different, maybe a different angle. Doesn't matter what that thing in life is. Whether it be your persona, your job, your career, the way that you approach life, the way that you approach people, a business idea, an internet idea, a YouTube channel of your own. Just go for it. You can do it. I know you can, because I believe in you. Now go out and do it.